What if
before
the ingredient you
breakfast?
reach for in your kitchen every day is quietly wearing down your kidneys before breakfast is over? And what if the thing that looks ordinary, useful, and harmless is adding silent strain again today while you feel completely fine? I'm a kidney doctor, and I see this hidden pattern in older adults far more often than people realize. Let me explain it in plain, everyday language, because this fools people. I'll show you
Kidney
why
health is
one
a
familiar
serious
kitchen
matter, and
habit
we're
can
here to help
quietly
you
burden
navigate it.
aging kidneys
We have
over
the
time,
resources
even
and the
this very
care to
morning.
ensure you get the
Before
support you
symptoms ever
need.
whisper,
Understanding how
stay
your
with me,
diet affects your
because
kidneys is
near the
actually
end
quite
I'll share a
simple.
simple
Foods like
1-0
these vegetables
second
provide the
tip older
necessary
adults can
nutrients,
actually
while the kidneys
use.
filter out the
Welcome,
waste.
and thank you for being here. Kidney trouble often starts quietly while daily routines still feel safe. That is the trap. Your kidneys work all day, every day, filtering waste, balancing fluids, and helping keep blood pressure from drifting too far. They are quiet, loyal organs that keep serving long after most people stop thinking about them.
macro view
That
of
is
the
why their
kidney
early
filter is
silence can
usually
fool even
prescriptives.
careful adults. The kitchen still looks normal. The routine still feels innocent. The body may be absorbing a different message. While the kettle boils and the pan warms, the same ingredient can return in another ordinary form. It may be stirred into a drink, poured from a bottle, shaken from a packet, or baked into something familiar. That is how harmless-looking repetition turns into biological pressure. Nothing has to taste extreme for the body to be pushed in the wrong direction. Repeated exposure can increase strain inside delicate kidney vessels and filters. It can also worsen blood sugar swings or nudge blood pressure higher over time. And because the shift is gradual, the kitchen never feels like the source. That matters because older kidneys usually recover from repeated stress more slowly. People often blame age, fatigue, or stress instead of the daily pattern. Small insults can start to add up before anyone notices. There is rarely a siren or sharp pain at the beginning. Many people feel fine while the process is already underway. Then a routine lab test shows a change they never imagined was forming. The numbers change before the body tells a clear story. That is when the shock hits. And this matters even more after age 60. Aging kidneys can still do remarkable work, but they usually have less reserve than they did decades earlier. This does not mean older adults are fragile. It means the margin is simply narrower. A daily burden that once seemed small may carry more weight now. Add high blood pressure, prediabetes, diabetes, extra weight, poor sleep, or years of convenience foods, and risk can rise faster. That is why a small daily choice can carry surprisingly large consequences. Many older adults tell me they only use a little. Others say they have had it their
As
whole
we
lives.
age, our
Both
kidneys have a
reactions make
narrower
emotional
safety
sense,
margin.
and that
It's
is
vital to
exactly the
understand
problem.
what this
It is
means
hard
for
to
your
fear what has
long-term
always
health.
lived in your own
And
cupboard. Familiar things rarely feel dangerous when they are part of comfort and routine. They feel normal because almost everyone around you
just a
uses them
little.
too. They even feel responsible because using them seems practical and efficient. They feel deserved. They belong to the home rhythm of opening the cupboard, stirring the mug, seasoning the pan, and repeating yesterday without a thought. That repetition is powerful, especially when the same hidden threat also feeds pressure, sugar stress, or metabolic overload. The issue is not one dramatic meal, but the steady push of an everyday pattern over time. By the time swelling, fatigue, or abnormal lab results appear, the process may have been unfolding for years, quietly enough to be missed, routinely enough to be excused. So I want to help you notice the pattern before the damage starts speaking for itself inside your own routine. We are going to look at where this hidden threat hides in the kitchen and why it feels harmless. We will break down what repeated exposure can do to kidney filters, blood pressure, and metabolic balance. I will also show you why older adults are easier targets, even when they think they are being careful. Then I will give you the simple awareness shift that can help you protect yourself earlier. You do not need panic here. You need clearer, earlier, calmer vision now. Once you see this daily kitchen pattern clearly, your routine may never feel quite so harmless again. The first trap in this kitchen is not drama. It is convenience dressed as normal life. A packet soup, sweet cereal, soft white bread, flavored yogurt, bottled sauce, crackers, instant oats with sugar already mixed in, frozen snacks that only need a microwave, coffee creamer that tastes like dessert, and pantry foods that promise speed when energy is low can all look harmless because they fit the rhythm of an ordinary day. For many older adults, that is exactly why the danger gets missed. The meal feels small. The portion feels modest. The label sounds familiar. Nothing on the plate looks extreme. But kidneys do not judge a meal by how innocent it seems. They respond to the pressure the body has to manage after that meal is eaten. Most people assume the problem starts only when a food tastes very sweet or very salty. That belief is too narrow. Many processed kitchen staples are built to be easy to chew, easy to swallow, and easy to digest. That means they often reach the bloodstream quickly, do not keep a person full for long, and invite another round of eating sooner than expected. When that pattern repeats, older kidneys can end up working in the background of a body that is dealing with repeated blood sugar rises, extra insulin demand, and subtle fluid and pressure shifts before any warning sign appears. The mechanism is simpler than it sounds. When food is highly processed, much of the slowing structure has already been stripped away. Fiber is lower, texture is softer. The body does less work to break it down. Blood sugar can rise faster, hunger can return earlier, and the next snack or sweet drink can arrive before the first wave has settled. Over time, that pattern can help drive insulin resistance, and diabetes is one of the most common causes of chronic kidney disease. High blood pressure is another major cause, and kidney disease often stays silent early on, which is why this kitchen pattern can build for years without clear symptoms. In real life, this does not look like reckless eating. It looks like toast in the morning, crackers in the afternoon, a packaged sauce at dinner, and a dessert-flavored coffee in between. It looks like choosing foods that feel light but do not satisfy. It looks like standing in your own kitchen, convinced that nothing serious is happening because the routine feels tidy and familiar. Meanwhile, the body keeps getting pushed into quick fuel, quick hunger, and quick return trips to the cupboard. A safer shift starts with slowing the food down before it enters you. Keep the meal recognizable, but make it work harder in a good way. Pair the quick item with something that adds protein, fiber, or both. Put peanut butter or eggs next to toast. Choose plain yogurt and add fruit and nuts instead of buying the sweet version. Use oats that are less sugary and eat them with seeds or unsweetened Greek yogurt. Build the plate so the food takes longer to digest and longer to leave you hungry again. Because convenience is only the first layer. The next one is even easier to miss. The second layer is processing itself, and this is where many kitchen staples quietly become more risky than they appear. A food does not need to look like junk to behave like a fast hit. It can sit in a health-looking box, carry words like light, multigrain, low-fat, or heart-smart, and still move through the body with surprising speed. That is the hidden reversal older adults often miss. The package can sound responsible, while the food inside still acts like quick fuel with weak staying power. Why does that matter for kidneys? Because foods that digest fast often create a repeating cycle instead of a single event. The rise comes quickly. Fullness fades early. A second portion, a sweetened drink, or a snack feels reasonable because the first meal never truly held the person. That cycle matters more than one single food. When repeated daily, it can help worsen blood sugar handling, support weight gain around the middle, and add to the long metabolic strain that aging kidneys must live downstream from. This is especially important after 60. Older kidneys usually have less reserve than younger ones, and many older adults are already balancing more than one issue at once, such as high blood pressure, prediabetes, diabetes, or several daily medicines. That does not mean every packaged food is dangerous. It means the body has less room for repeated nutritional whiplash. Small spikes and crashes that once felt manageable can become part of a larger burden when they show up morning after morning and snack after snack. Chronic kidney disease also often has no symptoms early, so feeling fine does not prove the routine is gentle. Think about the foods that disappear almost by accident. The soft muffin that barely needs chewing. The granola bar that sounds wholesome but leaves hunger behind an hour later. The creamy flavored oatmeal cup, the sleeve of crackers eaten while waiting for dinner. None of these moments feels dramatic, but together they build a day full of fast digestion, weak fullness, and repeated blood sugar work. The protective shift here is not perfection, it is inspection. Start asking a better question in the kitchen. Will this keep me steady, or will it just pass through me quickly and ask for more? Look for foods with more fiber, more protein, and less added sugar. The FDA says the nutrition facts label can help compare foods for added sugars with 5% daily value or less considered low and 20% or more considered high. That gives older adults a practical way to spot which pantry foods are more likely to push the day in the wrong direction. But even that is not the full story, because fast digestion rarely travels alone. The hidden amplifier is what highly processed staples bring with them besides quick carbohydrate delivery. They often arrive with enough sodium to push pressure higher, enough softness to make overeating easy, and enough flavor engineering to keep the hand returning even after the body has had enough. This is where the kitchen danger stops being about a single ingredient and starts becoming a daily environment. The pantry, fridge, and countertop begin nudging the body toward more intake, less fullness, and more pressure on the systems that protect the kidneys. Many people separate these risks in their minds. Sugar over here, salt over there, fullness somewhere else. The body does not separate them so neatly. Hidden sodium can support high blood pressure, and high blood pressure can damage the blood vessels in the kidneys and reduce healthy blood flow. At the same time, meals that do not satisfy can push a person toward more grazing, more sweet drinks, or larger portions later in the day. That means the same kitchen pattern can work from two sides at once: more pressure through blood pressure and more wear through repeated blood sugar instability. The consequence is subtle but serious. A person may think they are eating lightly because the portions are small, yet the body never gets a stable stretch. There is always another nibble, another instant option, another packaged add-on, another sweetened cup or crunchy bite that seems too minor to matter. Weeks become months. Months become years. Then one day the lab work tells a story the kitchen never did. Chronic kidney disease can remain silent for a long time, and testing may be the only way to know it is there. So the practical correction in this block is to change the kitchen environment, not just one meal. Put the foods with more staying power where your hands land first. Make the easier grab the steadier grab. Keep nuts, plain yogurt, beans, eggs, fruit, unsweetened oats, and simple proteins visible. Move the quick sweet and quick crunchy foods out of sight, instead of trusting willpower every afternoon. And when you buy packaged food, check two lines before anything else: sodium and added sugars. A food can look convenient, familiar, and even modest while still setting up another round of strain. Now we come to the deepest layer, and this is the one that harms the kidneys most quietly of all. The strongest danger in this kitchen is not one can, one box, or one spoonful. It is the repeated daily pattern created when convenience foods are processed to digest fast, satisfy poorly, and quietly keep the body on a short leash from morning to night. This is where older adults often blame themselves for hunger, cravings, or low energy, when the real problem is that the kitchen routine keeps asking the body to recover from one fast wave and prepare for the next. The kidneys sit in the middle of that long story. When blood sugar keeps surging, the body keeps having to answer. When fullness fades too soon, eating opportunities multiply. When sodium is high in the same routine, blood pressure can rise. When weight slowly increases around the waist, insulin resistance can worsen. And when all of that happens in an older body with less reserve, the kidneys may spend years exposed to the downstream effects before symptoms are obvious. Diabetes and high blood pressure are still the main pathways to chronic kidney disease in adults, and both can be fed by the kind of processed, fast-digesting pattern many kitchens now make very easy to live with. This is why the phrase, "just a little cannot protect you." A little sweet cereal, a little flavored creamer, a little white toast, a little sauce from a bottle, a little frozen snack, a little dessert after a meal that did not satisfy. None of these moments looks large enough to fear. But kidney strain usually does not arrive as a dramatic event in the kitchen. It arrives as accumulation. Repetition matters, pattern matters. What happens 3 or 4 times every day matters most. A lot of older adults tell themselves they are not eating much, only to discover they are eating fast, often, and without enough balance. That distinction is everything. A small meal that empties quickly can create more metabolic work than a steadier plate that truly satisfies. A kitchen full of foods that melt in the mouth, crunch easily, pour easily, and require almost no preparation can quietly teach the body to live on short bursts instead of stable nourishment. Over time, that can mean more glucose stress, more hunger, more pressure, and more silent wear on the kidney filters. So here is the practical payoff. Build friction into the foods that hurt you, and remove friction from the foods that steady you. Do not leave your best choices hidden in a drawer while the quickest processed options sit at eye level. Pre-boil eggs. Keep plain yogurt ready. Portion nuts into small containers. Wash fruit before you are tired. Store leftovers you can actually use. Make your first option in the kitchen a slow option, not a fast one. When the body gets steadier fuel, the kidneys are less likely to keep paying for repeated swings. One more thing makes this pattern dangerous. The kitchen can look clean, organized, and responsible while still creating harm. Many older adults are not eating restaurant junk all day. They are eating respectable convenience foods that seem portion-controlled and easy to manage. That respectable look can delay action. What looks convenient on the counter today can become quiet pressure on blood sugar, appetite, blood pressure, and kidney reserve when the same pattern keeps repeating week after week without pause. A person thinks, "My habits are normal, so my risk must be low." But the kidneys care about repeated stress, not marketing language. If the routine keeps delivering quick digestion, weak fullness, and hidden sodium, the body can be nudged toward the same long-term trouble even while the pantry appears disciplined and sensible. That is why ordinary routines deserve honest scrutiny before lab numbers force the issue. And here is the 1-0-second tip I want older adults to remember. Before you buy it, pour it, or put it on a plate, ask out loud, "Will this spike me and leave me hungry?" Then look for 2 clues: added sugar on the label and something that slows the meal, like protein or fiber. If the food is high in added sugar and low in staying power, it is not a light kitchen choice for aging kidneys. That quick pause can interrupt an automatic habit before it becomes another automatic strain. And if you already have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or a family history of kidney failure, do not wait for symptoms to tell you whether your routine is safe. Ask when your kidney tests were last checked. The sooner a risky pattern is noticed, the sooner you and your clinician can work on it. So the journey in this kitchen comes down to one quiet truth. The danger usually does not begin with an obvious binge or a shocking ingredient. It begins with ordinary convenience, deepens through processing, and becomes most harmful when fast-digesting staples are repeated so often that blood sugar, fullness, and blood pressure never get much rest. That is how older kidneys can be strained in a house that still feels careful, normal, and well-run. But this is not a message about panic. It is a message about seeing the pattern earlier. Chronic kidney disease often has no symptoms at first, and diabetes and high blood pressure remain the major causes, which is why small daily choices and regular testing matter more than many people realize. The good news is that you do not need a perfect kitchen to protect your kidneys better. You need a steadier one. Even one better swap repeated every day can lower the number of quick hits your body has to manage over time. A few simple shifts can change the direction of the day. Slow the meal down. Make protein and fiber easier to reach. Check sodium and added sugars before a packaged food earns a place in your routine. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or a family history of kidney failure, ask when your blood and urine kidney tests were last checked. Please share this with someone who keeps trusting the same familiar kitchen habits because they look harmless. Please subscribe if you want more plain, practical guidance that helps you protect your health before trouble grows quietly. And please comment below with one kitchen item you now want to look at more carefully. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Your kidneys work for you every hour, even when they are under strain and saying nothing at all. Treat them kindly, stay curious about your daily patterns, and take small protective steps while they still have more room to recover. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next one.